Hi YouTube fans, welcome to my channel. I'm Darlene and I'm going to attempt to do a reading for you today. For those few of you who are regulars, I apologize. I've been out of commission for a couple of weeks. I won't go into details, but let's just say that full moon, that super full moon that happened threw a hand grenade in my life, and I've been dealing with that. And you know, it's let me just say this while I do have cards I'm going to shuffle. For those of us who are more sensitive, I guess an outsider looking in would think we're just being extra whiny. We're being wimps. I don't know. But that's not how we experience it. We often, and I say we, again, more sensitive people that do kind of what I do, like readers. If you're that in tune to energy, and not all readers are in tune to energy, by the way. Some people just read cards, and that's okay. There's a place for that. But for those of us who are, it's hard. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and it's affecting, I know, a number of us more than usual. And when there's a big shift in energy like that moon brought, which it did, and like I said, it was like a volcano going off. So anyway, blah, 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 meh, 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 you know, that little violin playing. It's just been hard because when you're doing these readings, like I said, energy readers are bringing through, you're connecting with an energy on a different vibration, and depending on what kind of reading you're doing, that's a band of energy. And it takes a lot out of, well, me personally, most readers will tell you, it takes a lot out of us to connect to these higher energies. And whether you're channeling, who or what you're channeling, that's a different specific level or band of energy. You know, I'm talking to dead people, that's a specific, you know, I've got to get myself to connect to that level of energy. And so it's hard. So the reason I'm sharing this is I hope you guys will appreciate readers more. Again, I'm not saying we're special, more special than anybody. It's just that when you're more sensitive going through life, and especially trying to do this stuff for you guys out there that hopefully will benefit from it, it's just a little different road for us. So show your readers some love. You know, whoever you're listening to, me or anybody else, you know, if you're getting readings like most of you go to multiple readers, you know, show them some love, show them some patience, and hit that like button and do all the things that you know can make a difference for them, because this is not as easy as it may look. Okay, enough whining. To your reading. Thank y'all for listening. Seriously, if you did, thank you, Spirit, get through that with me. I just needed to vent. Sometimes we girls just need to vent. All right. And I know too, I did say I was going to do a live reading. I just haven't felt like the energy was right for that yet. There's too much retrograde stuff going on in the sky right now, and I just have to feel it. You know? All right, we're getting on with this. So today, and I'm using, what's the name of this deck? The Arcana, Arcana deck today. Some of you have wanted to know this art, which is beautiful. Okay, they're saying it's ready. And I know you can't see the cards. You just have to look at my wrinkly old face. I will show them to you in a minute. How many? Okay. But I did manage. I am here because I've got somebody coming through today. So y'all bear with me. This is a gentleman. Okay, great. So, I want to say this is a scene they're showing me in a movie that I saw, because, you know, they give us readers things that we can relate to help us tell the story. So, ooh, that camera angle is weird. You get to see my manicure. So if this is a movie, I apologize, but that's almost irrelevant because, again, they use things in our personal experience or things that we've seen and heard to give us the story. So this is a story about a man who was, I believe, a butcher. They started out telling me the story by saying he made sausage. That was literally the lead into this, was there's a guy and he made sausage. Okay. So he could have just been a guy that liked to make sausage. Okay, I'm allowing for that. I mean, I know there's we have country boys here in the South that like to make venison sausage, and it's not something you can typically buy. You have to make that. But I'm pretty sure this was a guy who was a butcher, who worked in a butcher shop, because then they went on to show me a little bit more about that. And I believe it was a family-owned business that he owned, like a small butcher shop that he ran with, I believe it was his brother. Okay, so now we got the backstory. The message today is he's bringing through about a woman that used to come into the shop, and I'm grinning because it's a sweet but bittersweet story. So what happened was this woman would come into the shop, and the butcher grew affections for her. He came to care about her, and they're not showing me real specifically what, but there was a block between these two people being together. Either, because this is some time ago, I should have prefaced this story. This was some time ago. This was not recently, could have been decades ago, but it kind of looks like that, what I'm seeing. There was a block that kept them apart. It was either she was promised or married somebody else. She was a different race or ethnicity or religion or something where these two people could not have come together at that time together. But she came into the shop, every week to buy her meat, whatever. And I get the feeling that this relationship, or this relationship such as it was, went on for quite a long time. Again, this could have been decades. It was a long time, years. And the longer this went on, the more this man fell in love with this woman. But they could not be together. And then something shifted that changed this block, I'm calling it. I don't know if it was just the times changed. Maybe that's what it was. And, attitudes changed, and that could have been it. But I kind of get a sense that she could have been married and her husband died. And that freed up the situation. Well, he was giving her some time. He realized that things had changed, but he hadn't yet really come forward to tell her how he felt. I think she knew. I think it was a mutual thing, but she wasn't giving in to those feelings like he had, because she has been the one that had been held back and been living her life over here as she needed to. He never married. I don't know, maybe he dated, but he just loved this woman, and that was just the way it was. So he went about his life. When this shift happened, he was so excited. He was elated. He was so happy that he was going to get to finally approach this woman and hopefully, take it somewhere, because now it was okay. And whatever this block was gone, and he could hopefully, after all these years of waiting and hoping, this could come together. Because they both knew that they liked each other. They both knew that, and it was something they maybe hadn't spoken about, but it was like an undercurrent. One of those movies where they don't say it, but there's always this undercurrent. It was like that. Well, as life would have it, fate, call it what you will, the butcher died before he could come to this point. before he could tell her, before he could, you know, take her out or court her or whatever. And when they gave me that, I was like, you know, that movie that you want to rewrite the ending to. I just really almost got irate. I said, you got to be kidding me. What? But, you know, and you got to keep your sense of humor when you're doing this, folks. I'm just saying. But the guy says, no, it's okay. It's okay. I know now, meaning when he's on the other side, I know now why it didn't come together. Now, he's not sharing that with me. I'm not picking up on that. But it's just that he knew that that's just the way that story needed to happen. But he's coming through today to talk to this love, this woman that he cared about. And he's hoping this message will get to her. So y'all remember, you got to smash that like button so that the good old YouTube algorithm will send this to more people so it can get out there. But he just wants to bring this through, that what he's saying is, I did love you. In other words, she thought maybe he cared, but he never got to tell her. And so it's that, again, that undercurrent was there, but they never were able to bring it together and affirm that for each other. So he's coming through to tell her, I did love you. I did, oops, sorry, hit the mic. I did love you. I did care. Oh my goodness, again, this was, whew, it was, I don't know if this would be a Ron Howard movie. Who would make a movie like this, y'all? I don't have a clue, but let me turn these cards over here. Let me see what they're saying here, because it's just my, if you hadn't been here before, this may be about the person I'm reading for, could be about more about that story. Let me see what these cards say, okay? Oh, let me see, yeah, oh, okay, hang on. Oh, wow, that's a cool, okay. So a couple of different things here. All right, bear with me, because I'm getting 2 or 3 different storylines, because if you don't know, some of these readings are meant for multiple people, multiple stories. That's just the way Spirit works. Don't ask me how that magic happens. I don't know. I just show up here. So, for some of you, this was the butcher who felt left out in the cold because he couldn't bring this relationship together. This also applies to the feminine, the reader, the love here, that I guess that what I'm saying is they both felt this way with their own stories in their lives. I think she felt, there's some other storyline they're giving me that they're not giving it to me clearly though, about whatever she had in her life was not happy. I mean, maybe, again, I kind of get the feeling that, I don't know if this was an arranged marriage or something that she was committed to that she couldn't get out of, or that she may, I don't know, this was maybe the block. I feel like this was the block that was between them. Yeah, enough about that. Let me move on, okay? And I'm looking at the way these cards are laid out, they relate to one another. So again, there's multiple stories, and I want to be sure I can focus on the most important ones. So this, hang on. There's more here that they're trying to give me. I'm looking at this. Isn't that a beautiful card? The artist in this deck just blows me away. See, I'm getting so many messages the Chariot card means fast forward movement of one thing. But I don't know if you can see it. If you can see this symbol in this particular card right here between the horses? Doesn't it look like this? Okay, so you get, this is the Sun card, and then you've got this symbol on the Chariot here, and they are, so I'm feeling like the message is he knew you needed to move away. He knew you needed to go on your own path, which meant distance from him, whether that's literal, could be, or symbolic. That was a heavy burden. That block that created distance from you, and I'm coming back to the Sun in a minute, was a heavy burden. He bore that. I get the feeling that he bore that quietly and peacefully, although his brother did know about his feelings for you those many years. But he's saying he held back because he wanted your happiness. He knew that if he stepped forward, that whatever, like I said, this block was at the time, you know, I don't know what, they're not showing me what it was. He knew that that would have been interfering, that would have been a blockage to your happiness. Resistance, blockage, you know, that this is the wounded warrior to your happiness. So as much as he wanted to come forward and wanted to rush and tell you how he felt, he knew there needed to be this wall, this holding back, this, you know, he would just quietly stand behind those wands and try to persevere until something came about to change this situation, which now is, again, that's that second message there. I get feeling, well, again, this is so many messages here. Ooh, I can't tell all these stories. Spirit, help me, help me. That was the truth. Okay, I'm gonna keep going down as these are laid out. That was the truth. This is, I realize it's a glare. I'm trying to avoid that, and I'm about to sneeze too. Sorry. King of Swords. I know there's a glare. I'm doing the best I can, y'all. King of Swords. So that's the truth. But the King of Swords is sitting under the Five of Pentacles and next to the Lovers. And I'll remind you, yes, the Lovers says the Lovers, but it also was originally called the Choice. So this harsh truth, because King of Swords can represent a lot of things, but in this case, look at the expression on this guy's face. This guy means business. He looks serious. He looks like, you know, don't come near me or I'll cut you in half, kind of. And I don't mean that in a cruel, cold way, although it certainly can be. But I think what they're saying is the cold, hard truth is that this was the choice that needed to happen for your happiness, the viewer, for your happiness to manifest. This is Magician card, so that in time you could blossom into this Empress. And this is also, the Empress also, she's all four queens in one, but she also can represent fertility. So I get the sense, particularly because it's under, I mean, it's under the Sun card, for you to realize, for this happiness for you to become fertile, to blossom. That's the choice that he had to make. He manifested that choice. He did what he thought he had to preserve or to promote this happiness, to give you that happiness. I'm not saying that as well as I want to. In 1 second here. Yeah, oh, so sweet. So sweet. I'm looking at the deck here, the bottom of the deck. Yeah. And even though it meant an end of a potential situation, the World card is the end of a cycle. It's an ending. So it was an ending to any potential that he had with you. He had to walk away. He had to walk away from this. But the Eight of Cups, you're walking away from what doesn't serve you, what's not making you happy, going toward your Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. And as disappointing as that was terribly disappointing. And I think he's also saying that was disappointing for you, even though, again, this is a very quiet, internal, many-year struggle for both of you, is the way I'm kind of getting that picture. Thank you, Spirit, for backing me up. This is the card of anxiety, sleepless nights, pacing the kitchen at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, that kind of energy. All the while, he's saying, all the while hoping that divine timing, always looking out, never giving up hope, looking at distant shores, looking in the future, hoping that this relationship could come to be, because he felt passionately about you in his heart, quietly. This guy looks like, now the King of Wands typically, you know, is a very action-oriented, you know, entrepreneur, sexy, all that good stuff. This guy looks to me, I don't know, he looks like the strong silent type to me. I don't know, you tell me what you think in the comments, but I kind of get that's how he treated the situation. But also this could have been I'm also getting another message, this could have been who you were in a relationship with, and so he felt, you know, okay, just let that happen, let that be over there, I'm not going to get in the middle of that, whatever, I have to put an end to this, or maybe there's a couple of messages, that could have been one message. Wait 1 second. So one message could be, I don't want to get in the middle of that, so I'm going to put it into any thoughts I have of entertaining this relationship, because I don't want to create conflict. I don't want to be that player. I'm not going to do that to this woman. I have too much respect for you. That in time, I've planted the seeds. Like when you would come into the shop and he would talk to you, it would make his day and his week. And it was just, you just have no idea. Just you walking in that shop and making your order every week, what joy that brought to him. And that's, you know, these are seeds being planted is that card. And he thought about you all the time. He was nostalgic. He thought about you, and oh my gosh, yeah, just I'm not going to go too far in the deck, but he'd held out hope for this. This is the adventure, the Page of Wands, you know, like new beginnings, adventure, curiosity. He'd always kept that spirit, but he kept it close to himself about you in this relationship. I just want to be sure. Hang on 1 second. Yeah. Oh, this is such a... Okay, I'm sorry. I got wrapped up. I'm an artist, in case y'all didn't know. You can't see them right now, but there's a whole bunch of canvases and art stuff all in here. This is my studio where I do these readings. So I always get a little sidetracked looking at the artwork, and they said, I want to be sure before I show you this card, because, you know, YouTube is doing some weird things with, not weird things. They don't want nudity even on tarot cards, so they're watching that very closely, but I think this will be okay, so hopefully they won't ding me for this. So this is the Judgment card. Can you see these figures at the bottom? I just felt like those represent how he felt, like, you know, coming up out of the grave, like when he realized, or whatever happened with you guys, that the block was gone. That's how he felt, like he was being resurrected from the dead. And this is, you know, divine intervention. It can be reconciliation. It can be, you know, a rebirth is essentially what it means. I just get divine intervention on that card for me. Yeah, that he was hoping, and I'm also listening to them. It's not just the cards I'm looking at here. He felt like finally he was not that this situation was not something that, this is typically the juggler. It can be balanced, but it can be balancing, and it's just there's two ships out here in the harbor, can be overwhelmed. It just, it's kind of that whole situation that finally he could get justice. Finally, justice is a balancing of energy, is it not? And then this happened. If you look at that artwork, what is that person? So he knows that his passing to you, he's talking to you, the viewer, he knows that as disappointing as it was for him, he was gone. He's in a better place. He's in, the other side now. But he says, I'm sorry that I disappointed you, that after all that time, I could not be there to make this a reality, that I couldn't see that through. And he's saying that I see that you've had to go through not only healing from whatever that other block was, but now healing from him being gone. And again, I think this was some time ago, but he's just acknowledging the struggle and the suffering that you went through in this situation, that you went through a time of, feeling betrayed, but not by him, by spirit, by like, my God, I waited all this time to finally come together with this man, and then he was taken out of my life. That's the feeling. Yeah, what a heavy burden that was. What a very, very heavy burden that you felt betrayed, no doubt about it. I think you went inside, you became a hermit, you kept to yourself. You just said, well, I can't win for losing, so to speak. But Spirit is saying, because you had so many hopes that, as he did, secretly, that you could both bring your cup of love to each other, that you were finally single and he was single, and that this could come together and you could find that balance. You could finally find balance in your wish fulfillment. And I'm just pulling these one after the other off the bottom of the deck, y'all. This is the beauty of tarot, telling the story. I didn't, I don't know what's here. I'm just reading the cards now. But the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, yes. And then the Tower happened. The Tower happened. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is breaking my heart here. The Tower happened, and then the Devil. Well, the Devil's a lot of things, but it's being restricted. And I'm not going to turn this card around because these figures are a little bit too nude for here. Maybe I can hold it up like this. There we go. I can hold it up like that. These people have chains on them. It's also about restriction. It can be a lot of things, but I'm getting restriction here and disappointment. Ooh, let me see though. Let me see. I think you became the Queen of Pentacles after this happened. Eventually. In other words, you were on your own. You had a good foundation in life. You had lived your life. You could take care of yourself. You could be independent. I mean, typically the Queen of Pentacles is married, but I'm just saying, you were okay on your own. Eventually. And you learned a lot from this. Well, the Knight of Pentacles it's not the Page of Pentacles. No, the Knight. Let me see what's under that. I get just the energy of, you were moving forward with, the Pentacles are the practical things in life that you got on with your life. Essentially, you got on with your life and you started over, and you learned to love yourself. That's, the Ace of Cups can mean a lot of things, but it means a cup of love, right? A gift from the universe. And I really feel like this was, you finally said, well, okay, that's the hand I'm dealt. I'm just going to love myself. And and you put an end to that cycle. And this is also transformation. The death card is transformation. You transformed what was a very, very difficult situation in kind of a raw deal, as we say. And their Spirit is just, and that's all I'm going to go into the deck. Spirit is just saying, and they're saying, he's saying, everybody in unison. It's a cacophony right now of voices in my head. Are basically just saying, job well done, job well done. That as disappointing as this is, they're applauding you for getting on with life. Is what we have to do, right? I mean, you just have to get up and go. Get up and get on, as I guess the saying is. And so he just, again, is bringing through, he loved you. He wants to affirm that you shouldn't doubt those feelings ever again. What you suspected, and that undercurrent was absolutely authentic. It was real. If he'd been given enough time, if that was what was for everybody's highest good, he would have come to you. He would have told you how he felt, and he would have, y'all would have been together, presumably. But for whatever higher reason this needed to happen this way, it did. And so there is that. Anything else, Spirit? This is one of my longer readings. My goodness. Okay. No, he's just saying he's saying he wishes you much happiness, and I believe you're older now, and he's saying, I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you on the other side. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, when you would come to the shop, I think he used to give you a little extra. When you would come into the butcher shop, he'd give you little treats for your dog or something, I think. So I don't know, that's just part of that story. Okay, he's pulling his energy back. He's just wanting you to know that message, that he did love you. Don't question that. It was real, and that he looks forward to seeing you when it's your time on the other side. Okay, y'all. Thank you for sticking around and being patient with me while I was dealing with my life stuff. Okay, wish y'all many, many blessings, and I'll see y'all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.